These are required annual meetings by our operating agreement to discuss the upcoming budget and rates for next year. All right, so our agenda for this evening, we'll have quite a show here. All right, something's not functional again. All right, our agenda for the evening. We'll talk about a little bit of stuff in the big picture, some construction projects we have ongoing, our budget for next year, an update on customer service, and then some upcoming projects for the following year. All right, so in the big picture last year, we cleaned 73 miles of gravity sewer. I like to think about what we do on a daily basis, and we get very small-minded on some things. So on a daily basis, we only get about 3,500 feet a day, sometimes 5,000 feet a day, but we cleaned 73 miles last year of gravity sewer. That's putting a jetter head in the line, pulling debris out, and opening the line up to make sure there's nothing in it. 73 miles is roughly the distance from Brunswick to Baxley, if you laid it out straight pipe. We televised, so we put a camera in a line and looked at the inside of 28.4 miles of sewer lines last year. That was a little bit lower than we had done in previous years, but 28 miles is still a decent amount for the year. That's roughly the difference from the distance from Brunswick to Woodbine, if you laid that out end to end. While we were cleaning and televising lines, we removed 324 tons of debris. So that's material that settled out in our collection system lines that did not make it to the wastewater plant. 324 tons is the weight of 4 space shuttles that were pulled out of the line. And then on the wastewater side, we pumped 3.58 billion gallons of wastewater through the system. We have 3 wastewater plants, one at exit 29, one on the mainland, and then one here on St. Simons. And so 3.58 billion gallons of wastewater went through those 3 plants. That works out to just shy of 10 million gallons of sewer a day that is pumped and treated. That would fill up each day 15 Olympic-sized swimming pools with sewer. And then at the plant, the stuff that actually made it to the plant, we removed 2,803 tons of solids at the wastewater facilities between the 3 wastewater plants. That works out to about 3 rhinos worth of solids a day coming out of the wastewater facilities. Well, it stopped working. There we go. All right. So we, on the water side, did 3.01 billion gallons of water last year. That is lower than the sewer because we do get rainwater and groundwater into our sewer system. That's not supposed to be there. We also have large sewer-only customers at the mainland plant. We have 3 very large sewer-only customers and 1 large sewer-only customer on the island of Sea Island. We don't give them water, we take their sewer. So 3.01 billion gallons a day. And this one I thought was interesting. 3.01 billion gallons for the year is 18.8 billion Starbucks coffees. So 51.5 million Starbucks coffees per day. Our planning and construction division helps review private development work, and they inspect the installation of new infrastructure. They opened up 628 new service locations last year. And then as far as new connections, there were 697 new meters installed connection-wise for the past year. Now, how do we install more meters than we had service connections? If there's a subdivision that has 100 lots in it, they don't all get new meters in the same year. It says they build them along the way. So they're filling up the lots that were already established in previous years. So almost 700 new connections last year for the system. Some of those are also irrigation meters. So some houses may have 2 meters, one for their domestic water and sewer and one for irrigating their yard. And we completed $16.9 million in capital project work over the past year. That puts us over the last 3 years somewhere north of $60 million worth of capital project work completed in the past 3 years. And then our customer service lobby, just people that paid in the lobby. This is not people that actually came in to ask questions or start new accounts or anything like that. We had nearly 50,000 people visit us in the lobby last year to pay their bill. So it's about 4,000, a little over 4,000 people a month coming in the lobby to pay their bill each month. So we have about 31,500 customers, so that's more than 10% of our customers come in each month to pay in person. Some of that is obviously cash, but we have people that come down just to swipe their credit card. So, why are you not working? It's moving on my screen. There we go. Okay, so some ongoing water projects and recently completed water projects. We had 2 elevated storage tanks. EST has elevated storage tanks. Those are water towers, as you may be familiar with. The mall on the mainland and the Oglethorpe tank on the island. Those projects are wrapping up as we speak. The painting has been completed. They're just doing punch list items now. And then galvanized water mains is an ongoing project we're doing with internal forces and a contractor to install some of the larger lines. And then we are still ongoing through our water meter replacement project. We are replacing all 30,000 meters in the system that have not been installed in the past 2 years. And we're over 22,500 of them have been replaced since last January. So we are on track to finish that before the end of this year. So here's the water tower projects. That one on the left there is the one by the mall. We partnered with the College of Coastal Georgia and got their logo painted on that. That was painted, I believe, last weekend, last Friday, Saturday over that. So that is brand new. It is a nice looking logo there with the sails, but that will be up there for 15 to 20 years on the lifespan of the tank. And then on the right, that's the process of painting the tank. They hang curtains off of it so you can see the brackets they install and the way they would hang curtains off of it, because when they're blasting the paint off the tank, they don't want that to be spread out across the place, and also it helps it all fall in one neat place so they can clean it up when they get done. So here's some galvanized water main. Galvanized water mains were installed mostly in the 50s and the 60s, and they have 2 problems. One, they corrode on the inside and you start growing pipe on the inside, which restricts your water pressure and your volume that goes through. So there you have our water distribution supervisor, Mr. Alvin Hall, showing you that is a 2-inch pipe that may have 1 inch of water going through it. And that is not half the flow, that's more like 1/3 the flow that's going through that line. And then it also is very brittle, and you end up with holes on the side of it like you see on that picture on the right there. So it can somehow get less water and more water through it because it's going out the side. So we're going through replacing a lot of those old galvanized lines. You'll see our crews out here on the island. We've been focusing heavily in the Riviera, Menendez area, and then also St. Clair has had extensive work done to it. Hopefully be wrapping those 2 neighborhoods up before the end of the month. And water meters. We're replacing water meters, and one exciting thing we could do with the new water meters is we have a whole lot more data about what is going on in our system at your water. So this is an example of some of the information we have here. You see there, this location has very little water usage most months, and in the month of August you had 16,000 gallons go through it when they typically use less than 2,500 gallons in a month. And then we can get down to the daily level, and you can see that on the average day they're using 20 to 30 gallons of water, sometimes a little higher. And then a couple of days there they use 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 gallons of water. Anybody got any guesses on what happened here? No swimming pool. No irrigation. So there's a little more information. Down to the hour level we can get you information. And you see there 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, about 8 gallons of water. Then it jumped up at 10, 11, and 12. Does it help you if I told you this was a church that happened? This was a Sunday. This is my church. My daughter left the faucet running in the bathroom for 3 days. And when the cleaning lady showed up on Tuesday, she turned the water off. So had to increase the donation that month. But yeah, so we could tell that the water started at about, about maybe 10:30 there. So she went to the restroom in the kids' classroom and left the water on in the bathroom for 3 days. So I did not, but it was a great example for moving forward. And this is the more classic example. This is not the same location. This is a residential customer that was using about 8 gallons of water per hour continuously. This is a classic toilet flapper that has went bad. They will use between 4 and 8 gallons of water per hour if the flapper in your toilet is not seating correctly. 8 gallons an hour over a 30-day billing period can increase your bill $50 a month as a round number if you're a water and sewer customer. So if you get a bill that seems $50 higher in a month, call us. We can look this information up for you. And if you're using 4 to 8 gallons an hour, I suspect that you need a $4 toilet flapper to get that corrected, and then we'll get you a leak adjustment on the backside. All right, so on the sewer side, 4 projects I want to highlight here. These are all big projects. North Mainland Sewer Basin was a SPLOST 2016 project that we were very close to finishing this time last year, and we're able to wrap that up over the summer. And then WPCF is Water Pollution Control Facility. That's an engineering word for a wastewater plant. Both Academy Creek on the mainland has recently been rehabbed, and Dunbar Creek is currently under rehab. And then water and sewer service extensions is something that our commission has been heavily focused on for the past few years. So here's the North Mainland project. Now that yellow line is the location, roughly, of a new sewer line that was installed from Harry Driggers Boulevard at a pump station on Harry Driggers Boulevard right near North Glynn Park. And that follows all the way down Driggers until it turns into Canal, and goes through the intersection at Canal Crossing there, and then goes into a gravity section on Ogden Drive, which is just off of Old Jessup Road right there. So we installed about 18,000 linear feet of pipe there, and what that did was redirect flow down that corridor away from Highway 17. By completing this project, we opened approximately 1 million gallons a day of sewer capacity in the North Mainland District. And on the right, you see that's the final connection that had to be made. You can kind of see it. There's different types of pipe there all coming together. I don't really see it well, but this is HDPE here at the end. Then you got PVC. The open cut sections were PVC. The sections that were installed with the horizontal directional drilling were PVC, and they're making the tie-ins there between the 2 sections. So our contractor finished that up, I believe in August of last year was when they finally knocked the punch list out. All right, Academy Creek, this is the wastewater plant on the mainland, and I just got one big photo because I can show you all the things we did from this one big photo. You start from the very left over there, you see a white tower cylinder there. That is a new odor control structure at Academy Creek. So the odor has been significantly knocked down. Of course, if we have to remove the covers, you will have a bad day of odor because all of that stuff that got concentrated decided to come out at one point. What you will notice is no one notices the absence of odor, but they notice the reemergence of odor. So we got a lot of calls when we have to remove those covers that were installed. Let me walk in front of the screen, I apologize. This new structure here, this is a new splitter box that was installed that splits the flow between these rectangular structures here. Those are aeration basins. We redid some internal pipe work, which is very exciting for the plant and gives us more control of the facility. And then we redid some parts of these circular basins are called clarifiers. We did some work on those. And then here at the other end, we installed this structure is a tertiary filtration system that cleans the water up even more before it leaves to go out into the creek. So once all that stuff has been removed, we were getting, say, 5 parts per million of solids going to the river. With the filters, we get 1 to 2 parts per million going out. So it just cleans the water up, and then it's a really nice drone photo showing the marsh in the background there. So that project was completed in March. I think final invoicing was April. So that one has been knocked off the list. We also paved everything. You can see some fresh asphalt there, which was very exciting for the plant guys. All right, here's the work at Dunbar. The Dunbar Creek plant is here on St. Simons. It handles all the flow from St. Simons. That structure on the left there is them constructing new locations for new tertiary filters at that location and a new UV system that's being relocated. And on the right, all those pipes with the little things sticking out of them, those are diffusers in the bottom of an aeration basin. So we take blowers and pump air into a tank and let biology remove the solids in the tank. So we have to give them air because they use it for energy. And so those are new diffusers that are going in. Those are much more efficient than the diffusers we had before. And with this process and some control mechanisms we're installing, we're expecting to save $30,000 to $40,000 on our power bill next year using these new diffusers. All right, and then these areas here are areas that are either currently under construction, under design, or targets for potential water and sewer service extensions. So the yellow that you see there, that is the ARCO subdivision on the mainland. That is actively under construction. That will bring about 450 new parcels access to the public sewer system. Most of them have water, but very few of them have sewer. The 2 pink areas are areas under design right now. The pink area on the north there is Community Road in between Altama and Habersham. There is no public sewer access in that commercial corridor in there. So we're going to install sewer in that location and also upsize 1 water line in the area for fire protection purposes. And then the pink to the south is the Brunswick Villa area just on the other side of the railroad tracks from Arco, there's a area between the railroad